The president is, of course, the chief executive officer of the United States, and like any CEO, he's supposed to make the machinery of government move smoothly, rise to the challenges of unexpected disasters, and above all, get things done. His supporters say few Republicans are better at getting things done than Mississippi Governor Haley Barbour. He is the focus of the second report in our series, 12 in 2012.
When I was elected governor, I ran on an agenda, and I followed that agenda. Everybody knew that I feel that raising taxes is the enemy of control and spending. We got rid of a $720 million deficit without raising anybody's taxes. The state of Mississippi will spend 13% less this fiscal year than 2 years ago. The federal government needs to learn that. You can spend less.
Which is why many conservatives see Barbour as a real contender for a promotion to the White House. You balanced a budget without raising taxes. Is that possible with a federal budget that is so massively tied to entitlements?
It is, but you can't do it overnight. Raising taxes right now will reduce revenue. And we've seen this in the past. Revenue will literally go down with higher tax rates in a recession.
What do you think is the most important foreign policy issue that the country faces?
What we've gone out and done is weakened our friendships and made the people who don't like us less afraid of us. I think that's a very serious issue because that ties into nuclear Iran. That ties into nuclear North Korea. That ties into a much more belligerent Russia. America's standing in the world has gone down both among our friends and among our competitors and adversaries.
The economy and foreign policy are likely to be top issues in any presidential election. But if the last decades proved anything, it's that Americans will also want someone in the White House they believe will be able to handle the unexpected. Barbour earned his stripes there when Hurricane Katrina hit, while officials in Louisiana and Washington were slammed by accusations of disorganization and incompetence. Barbour is still being praised for his performance during the crisis.
Thank goodness you were governor.
Looking back now 5 years, what have you learned from all that?
If you have the biggest natural disaster in American history, having a good plan helps. But anybody that thinks everything's going to go right just doesn't know what he's talking about.
While Governor Barbour receives accolades from both sides of the aisle for how he handled the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina 5 years ago, before he was running Mississippi, he's best known for his wheelings and dealings inside the Beltway, his Washington insider status. In the 60s, Barbour worked on President Nixon's campaign. In the 80s, he was President Reagan's director of political affairs. In the 90s, he served 2 terms as chairman of the RNC. He then joined the ranks of that notorious Washington animal, the K Street lobbyist.
He was one of the premier lobbyists of Washington, D.C.
Larry Sabato, director of the University of Virginia's Center for Politics, says that could hurt Barbour if he were to run.
Given the American public's view of lobbyists, it is difficult to imagine that he would be elected with that qualification.
Washington insider to some people means corrupt or bad. For other people, it means knows how to get things done, can get the ball in the end zone.
If presidential elections were like football, the governor is already trying to move the ball down the field. You sent a mailer to Iowa Republicans, and it said, Haley knows what it takes to succeed. Laying the groundwork?
What the mailer was for, and it went to several states, was to raise money for my PAC so that I can put money back in to elect more Republican governors.
As part of that effort, Barbour, chair of the Republican Governors Association, appeared with gubernatorial candidates.
Politics is a team sport.
In Florida, Iowa, and New Hampshire.
This is a place where you will have the first primary in 2012.
All states with voters who will have a big say in choosing the Republican to face President Obama in 2012. You think the next Republican president will be a governor?
Well, governors are more likely to get elected president when you look back at history.
Think a Southern accent can sell again?
It's the only one I got, so it doesn't make a difference.
Thank y'all all for being part of this.